Get that money, 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 money. I don't come to money, 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 money. Do it all for money, 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 money. Let me stack that money, 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 money. Come and get that money, 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 money. I don't come to money.
Good evening. Welcome to Plus Money Golf on the Fantasy Sports Corp Network, the show with the pro and the caddy. That'd be Adam and Smitty. My name is Eric. I'm just the host. We are brought to you this evening by Jazz Sportsbook, Casino, and Racebook, as well as our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. You can get a 100% deposit match up to $100 just by using the code Plus Money, all one word. Chris is over there, multiple screens, getting us on the internet, tweeting things out, doing like 3 different jobs. Smitty is back, finding time between rounds of golf with Hollywood bigwigs on PGA level courses for the podcast tonight. We also have the reigning 5-time Dubuque champion, Adam Miller, here. How we doing, boys?
Doing good.
Good.
Outstanding.
I was really missing the show, and then after I listened to it and you guys talking shit about me the whole time, I'm like, God, I can't miss another show. I'm gonna make sure I get back. But
we were just jealous.
Just in time, to wish Adam a happy birthday.
Oh yeah, thanks, man.
Yep, Adam, 29 today.
Yeah,
Looking
I wish.
good for 29.
How was Aaron Hills? How'd we do? Did you have fun?
Fun's the word I'll use. It's always fun. It's always cool to take out. I get a group that I can take out every year for a very, very discounted price. And I always take my father-in-law and then a couple
Smart
friends
move.
and stuff. So no, it's a blast because then afterwards we stay around there and have a couple drinks and we play the putting course every year. So it's a lot of fun. And we shut it down to the point where they shut the lights off out on the putting green while we were out in the middle of it still. So it just is just pitch dark out there. But no, it was fun. We had a blast, and we always have to, because we're one of the last tee times of the day, being an employee tee time. We always have to pretty much play hole 18 in the twilight, like it is almost dark when we're coming up to the green. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, absolutely. Watch the sun set over the Kettle Moraine. Beautiful.
Yeah, the moon was something else that night too, man. I'll have to send you guys a picture of that. I'll maybe even tweet it out. It doesn't do it justice, but man, it was a beautiful night.
Bringing the father-in-law. That's a wise veteran move right there.
I guess we don't move up on the friends list for some reason.
No, we're not gonna leapfrog father-in-law, but maybe we'll get one of them other 3 spots.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the list is long, my guys. I mean, But other than that, man, I've been grinding it out, caddying a ton the last couple weeks. So it's I feel like this is my new full-time job again. I feel like it's 10 years ago when I just started. As much as
That's a good time. That's a good job.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's a good job. Yeah,
Adam was obligated to play golf today.
Yeah, I've been playing the last few days. Played in the Iowa Open.
On the course.
Played in the Iowa Open. The course is in good shape. I didn't play that well. We caught the bad end of the draw with wind, and it was just rough at that length. Then I played TPC Deer Run yesterday, and it's phenomenal. Like the best shape of any course I've played in quite some time. The greens were unreal. So if anybody gets a chance to get out there and play it, like it's prime right now. You can clearly see why those guys go low there.
And they're getting close to being almost to their fall rates there at TPC. So you might be able to get a round of golf in there for super cheap.
Yeah.
And it's still going to be in pristine shape.
Yeah, the greens are smooth as pool tables. I mean, if you get it online, it's going to go in the hole. So they're doing a great job down there.
Now is the time. Well, speaking of going low, last week, Lucas Glover just kept putting together solid round after solid round, and he ended up getting the win at 20 under.
Yeah.
Young Ann, is that his name? And Russell Henley close behind at 18 under.
After a rain delay too. He just put the pedal down on after the rain delay.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Henley
that
put the
screws
brakes
some
on.
guys up.
Yeah, I mean, we've said all year Luke Glover's been getting better, and since he switched putters, I mean, 6.421, that's pretty good. You know, one missed cut in there, but that was just because he didn't go low enough round 2 to make the cut. That was one of those like -4 or 5 cut lines.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the nose though with his putter, because I got a stat for you just because that's what I do, right? Is give you stats. But it says like before adding his long putter, he was negative 0.78 strokes gained putting per round. 31% of his rounds with positive strokes gained putting. Since adding it, he's plus 0.66 strokes gained putting per round, with 72% of his rounds with positive strokes gained. That's insane. Like that's it's a crazy uptick right there, man.
And a guy that hits it as good as he does, if he's confident with the putter, I mean, that's a pretty good formula for. That's a guy you want on a Ryder Cup team. That's a guy you want. I mean, who could go all the way to the Tour Championship? Moved up to like 64 spots last week. Him and Adam Scott made the biggest jump in the FedEx, but 64 spots to get in the top 50. That's crazy. How do you keep this
man off a Ryder Cup team?
You can't. I mean, he's played and won, I think, before, but a guy that putts like that, I mean, get him in an alternate shot, that's going to be lights out for somebody.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, he's got the hottest putter on the tour right now, arguably. So it's just like, well,
and he's one of those super nice guys that could play with anybody on the team. Like,
yeah,
put him with Koepka, put him with. I think him and Scotty Scheffler would do good. As good a ball striker as Scotty is.
Yeah,
and maybe.
And as shitty of a putter he's been as of late, you throw Lucas Glover in there with him,
and maybe Lucas or Scotty sees something, gets a little motivated, and just starts dropping it, and then next thing you know, he's on a charge. So we've seen lots of times where these guys struggle with like chipping or putting, go to a Ryder Cup and play with some guy that's good at it, and then they come back just on fire.
How did P. Reed get on a team? His play was just undeniable.
He was so good. I mean, when he first came out, he like Monday qualified 6 tournaments in a row to play, and then he started clicking wins, and him and Spieth were probably the 2 hottest players at the time. They just, one would win one week and the next guy would win the next week, and then they would get in a playoff against each other, and it was just.
So he was
guys get streaky.
A little better than Glover is right now, but Glover's still playing good enough, I think.
Yeah, and I still think
be undeniable.
As much as Patrick Reed, probably doesn't want his wife caddying for him, he had way better results when his wife was caddying for him. Mm-hmm. So maybe he's a guy that just needs less talking and more just like, what club do you want?
Is that unprecedented, or have other guys done that with the wife on the bag?
Steve Stricker's winning on the senior tour with his wife and his daughter carrying clubs for him.
Love that.
Who's the other guy? Stuart Sink, son caddied for him, and he wins 2 events. So I think maybe just sometimes when you get like a family member there, it keeps you calmer. I don't know. It would be the opposite for me. Yeah.
There's a level of comfort. I mean, if you have a good relationship, and you have if there's, some commonality there with your family member, and I don't know, it can be one or the other, like you just said. Like
you're not going to launch your wedge at your wife. You're gonna.
That's true.
Well, I mean, Tiger.
Yeah, that's
Tiger's
true.
wife did it to him.
Clubs at him. I mean,
yeah,
it was a 7 iron.
The other way around, but
he was the aggressor there.
That's a whole different story.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
This
week.
I mean,
I'm looking at the FedEx FedEx Cup standings and stuff right now, and just looking where guys are. And to me, it's really crazy to see guys where they're at, actually, just because of how hot guys were early in the season and how they've kind of fizzled out. But you still got like Max Homa sitting 4th.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
feel like we haven't heard from him.
He played so good at the first of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, he had 2 wins and 2 runner-ups in a row.
Yeah, he's got he's got 14 top 25s this year. I mean, the only other guys that have more than that I'm seeing, I think, is like guys like Ricky's got 16, Scotty's got 19. Who else has? Someone else had 15. Oh, Victor Hovland had 15. But like, it's crazy. I mean, because he's arguably has been playing pretty poorly as of late.
Yeah.
Angela's here, top of the evening.
I don't know why he's been playing bad. He
Golf
just seems
fan.
to like something's off, like JT. I mean, JT did play good. Makes the cut finally and played really good into the weekend. And that was crazy that he almost made it into the top 70. It basically came down to the last shot on the last hole. He needs to chip it in to make the top 70, and he hits the flag.
Fell 9 points short.
It's crazy.
But and that's nuts though. See, like it goes to show how good this top 70 is, right? Because some of the guys that are on the outside looking in, like Adam Scott's right below there. Like Adam Scott's had a really nice season, you know? I mean,
yeah.
He's not playing bad at all. I mean, Austin Eckroat's right there at 74. You got guys like Shane Lowry right there.
Justin Sue, Chaz Reavy. Even JT had said, you know, like in one of the interviews that any other year I would just love, like this would be a great season, but it's just not good enough this year because everybody's that much better.
Right.
Yeah, the entire bar's been raised.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. It's like every week now you got to shoot 20 to get in a top 5.
It's kind of nuts to see the guys that are just outside the top 50 though. Like you listen to it because like the casual fan's not gonna know who the hell these guys are, right? Because you got like Nick Hardy, Alex Smalley, Thomas Dietrich, Taylor Montgomery, Davis Riley, Brandon Wu, Hayden Buckley. You know, then you got Hideki Matsuyama, who's there at 57, who it's just like, man, what are you talking about? Like Hideki doesn't fit there. Like he should be much higher. Well, there's a lot of really good golfers.
Kuchar at 60.
Yeah, Kuchar at 60. Right. Cam Davis at 62.
Are these guys getting better younger? Like, is the average age of the top 50 players much younger now than it used to be?
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
And I think it's the college programs are so much better. The instruction's better. The player, I mean, we see it on the web last week. You know,
they're making these dudes in labs, basically.
The cut on the web.com 2 weeks ago was 7 under, or the Corn Ferry was 7 under. You could shoot 68, 68 and not make the cut. Like, that's crazy.
It's so stupid.
Man.
And it's just going to keep getting lower as we go. I mean, like I was saying, the guy that won the Iowa Open shot 62 in a 30-mile-an-hour wind. He shot 10 under. I mean, on greens that were not great. But it's just, 7,500 yards in a 30-mile-an-hour wind to shoot 10 under. And
it's insane.
This guy probably couldn't even make it through first round of Q school. Like, that's how good golfers are. Like goes back to the whole thing with Steph Curry. Like, just go to his local state open and like go to the California Open and try to beat Michael Block. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not happening.
Yeah, and Michael Block got a real hard lesson on like, hey,
how good they are.
You're not that good. You're good.
No.
You're just not that good.
Yep.
Yeah, I did see
that table.
Yeah.
I did see one of the Cootie Bros got his tour card through web.com with 3 wins and 3 top 5s this year. So good for him.
That's exciting stuff.
There. Oh yeah. Well, this week it's the FedEx St. Jude Championship TPC Southwind, built for the pros, experienced by you. That's what it says on the website. Among the most notable holes at TPC Southwind are that 165-yard par 3 11th. It's like a mini version of the Island Green at TPC Sawgrass. The club has also been honored with numerous environmental awards, including the prestigious Golf Digest Golf Course Superintendents Association of America Environmental Leaders in Golf Merit Award.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Does that mean they take excellent care of the trees and everything is carbon neutral there?
I blacked out after like the third word you said.
It's all capitalized too. The GCSAA.
Golf Course Superintendents Association of America.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, the crazy thing, like I just pulled up the website and the first picture, their 18th hole looks identical to TPC Deer Run. So I wonder if this is one of those TPC, like, let's blend all the good holes from all the other TPCs to
like
build
a-
this course.
It's like a TPC mixtape.
Yeah. Which usually fits a few different guys' eye.
It's just crazy to look at this and like it's in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know.
It is a private course, is what it says.
Yeah. Yeah, that it's just weird. I think it doesn't. I feel like there's not anything that should look like that in Memphis.
Yeah.
No offense to all you Memphis people out there.
It's
Tennessee looks like a prime road trip destination.
Tennessee's cool.
This looks like a really good course.
Yeah, it looked real purdy to me. I was very impressed.
It looks like, I mean, it looks like Deer Run, like a lot of the holes do, and so does, it looks like TPC Sawgrass. So
From when I was reading before, it's like when it was originally built, it was like farmland, that like wooded farmland that was built into a golf course. So I mean, pretty cool. They've done a lot of different renovations throughout the years with this place.
it's
Even
very
just
cool.
recently with like, I think they just recently in the last 3 years or so, like redid some bunkering out there. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great tournament. Obviously last year was a really good tournament with Willie Z coming out on top. And yes, I did pick him last year to win, just to remind everybody.
He was 18-1. Willie
only
Z. I don't know why that's still in my brain, but I think
7,300.
Yeah, it's no joke for yardage, right? Being a par 70 and it's still almost 7,300 yards. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, you're talking, but there's some interesting things that I thought about the course was that it's pretty much, it's a little better than, it's a little longer than just like the PGA average, right? As far as the course goes. Water is going to come into play quite a bit. There's like 11 different holes that have water danger on it. So there's that dreaded water ball. RIP Jordan Spieth probably to some of that stuff. But very, very narrow fairways. It's the second narrowest on the PGA Tour at average fairway width of 25 yards only, which is crazy. I mean, when I go out on golf courses, like especially when I'm caddying, man, I see 50-yard fairways.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But then you got the Bermuda. So those dudes who are used to playing down south around that Florida area and everything, right? Like those guys will be the comfortable ones.
We had Bermuda last week too. So,
yep. That's what made the course so.
And they're the third smallest greens on tour. So that tells me, right, driving accuracy is going to be a big thing. Approach shots and putting, and then how do you scramble around the greens as well is going to be a big deal. So you're looking at guys that need to have, it's pretty hard to have all three of those things but there's a couple guys there's a couple guys that check off that list about a bunch.
I know a guy who's a rambling, scrambling man.
This tournament starts tomorrow, August 9th through 13th. Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Mañana, the 9th. Yes.
That's weird. I wonder why they're starting on a Wednesday.
Wait.
No, that can't be.
Yeah.
No, I remember one time last year. It might have been last year too, because I got caught off guard.
Maybe the Pro-Am.
Wednesday it had already started.
Maybe it was the Pro-Am. They do start the one like on Memorial Day weekend on Wednesday or Labor Day. But yeah, maybe that's Pro-Am. That's 5 days, yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's, Pro-Am Day.
Yep.
This is I like because we've got all the big names again. So obviously picking guys is going to be harder.
It's been historically rewarded as the best ball strikers in the world at this place. Like who does well here. So
I just always wonder when guys like haven't played since essentially the British. What are they going to do? I mean, you haven't played in 3-4 weeks. Maybe Scotty got his putter fixed. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure he's been working relentlessly at that though, because he knows that that's the weakest point in his game, and the only reason that he hasn't won 3 or 4 other tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine that? Like
But
he's
then-
already made $19.1 million on tour this year. If he figured the putter out and he has 3 other victories, I mean,
I'd
you're
have
talking,
25 million.
yeah, it's insane.
But I mean, to me, if I'm those guys, I would worry because, we've got guys in this field that have been starting out and playing the last 4 weeks, starting out hot with 6, 7, 8 under rounds. And now one of those guys shoots 7 under. Does Rory or Scotty think, well, shit, now I got to be 7 under? And then they force it. And then next thing you know, it's, we have a huge gap between the guys that don't, like, some of these guys are slow starters. Scotty sometimes, and like Xander, where they just like shoot a 2 under round with some of these guys now, like the last few weeks, you're,
But the
5 or
thing
6
is-
back.
But the thing is, though, Scotty understands how good he is, right? And with a no cut tournament,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, okay, well, I shot 2 under, I'm 5 back,
Yeah.
6 back. He's like, I'm good because I'm gonna go 7 under one day, and I'm probably gonna go 4 or 5 under another day. And if I can go 2 under the other day again, then I'm fucking winning this thing.
That's
And-
why I got to be the only guy who loses money betting on Scotty Scheffler because I always think he's going to do that.
I mean,
he
if you're
only
in the
does it,
top,
like, every so often.
I mean, if you're in the top 3, like the top 2, Scotty and John Rahm, they don't have to do anything this week. They've got 1,000-point cushion. Like, they could essentially get last place and still be in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You're not going to put Jordan Spieth 35-1 and me not bet him. I'll tell you that right now.
But as far as FedEx Cup, like a lot of these guys are safe all the way to the like the top 5 guys are safe all the way to the championship. They
Yeah,
don't
you're
have to
right.
do anything the next 2 weeks.
But you also don't want to take things so lightly to
Yeah.
where you you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
they
swagger a
understand
little bit.
momentum.
So you can't have that either. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think any of those guys are looking at now that it's like solidified and who it is, and obviously they take the top 50 from here. But I don't think those top 20 guys, I don't think they're looking at points anymore. I think they're just trying to win golf tournaments.
Yeah.
That's what they want to see themselves, because if they win one of these, they know that I'm one of the best players in the world right now.
Pretty much. Like, even with the points, the guys in the top 40 are pretty much locked in for the next week anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really that bottom list there, the bottom like 30 guys, right?
Yeah.
Where it can really fluctuate.
Maybe guys from 51 to 70 could move up, but yeah, it's going to be hard.
Wow. Glover 75-1 again. They
I
just
know.
won't learn.
Guys on a heater.
Yeah. You didn't make him 75-1. That's risky business as a sports book. I'm gonna parlay him with something. I parlay these golf bets sometimes with like NFL futures. I have like a Lucas Glover top 10 with Dolphins win the division.
That's crazy. I can't do that. I'm not patient enough to place bets like that. I just can't do it.
No. Yeah, especially when it's a clearly a bad bet. Like, I made a large wager on Lamar Jackson MVP last year, and I had to stare at that all season long, knowing that they had no shot. So yeah, futures are tricky. Better
like
to stick with golf bets.
Betting the Masters for next year
by
before we
Sunday.
even play it.
Yeah, I almost bet Rory to win two majors this year, and I didn't.
Good thing on that.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to come out firing this year.
I did too. It's not like he's had a bad year though. That's the whole thing. There was a good video, like a good interview with like Scotty, Rory, and John Rahm talking about each other, and like they were saying the first of the year, they all felt like they had to play better because any one of those 3 could win every week, and they pretty much did for the first 9 weeks. It was one of those 3 guys.
Yep. Then it became just Scotty for a while.
Yeah, and then it became every random guy in the planet winning.
That's what we like. I like random guys winning, because random guy is always like 42-1.
Yeah, I like it when it does that for like for the Masters next year. You get different guys in there.
Yeah,
That's true.
Well, suppose I should get out my get out my document, take these picks down. I suppose we should have Smitty go first since he is making his triumphant return. What do you got for top 20, Smitty?
My top 20s, I have first, I have Brian Harmon at plus 120.
Harmon.
Yeah, I mean, the guy has just been very stealthy all year, right, with what he's doing, and then all of a sudden pops off a win. And you want to talk about a guy who's got it going on in every statistical category almost that you need him. Driving accuracy is going to be a big one this weekend. You know, there it is, Brian Harmon, plus 120. Then I have Russell Henley at plus 130. I have Byung-Hoon An. It's a tough one to say. The South Korean himself at plus 150.
Nice.
He had a nice showing, obviously, this last week as well.
Yeah.
18 under.
And then let's see. I go to JT Poston at plus 180.
Good call.
And last but not least, I have Lucas Glover at plus 190. You know, I really struggled to take any high odd guys in the plus 20 because it's like, or in the top 20, it's just like, man, I was on the fence about JJ Spawn just because I really like his game and I like what he's doing, and he's at plus 300. So if you don't like one of those, like, he is definitely my runner up and my high odd guy.
He plays those fairly tight courses well too.
Yeah, but then I was looking at his statistics a little bit closer, and I was like, oh, it just doesn't look like he should play well here. So I mean, but I don't know. For him, I just had a feeling there, you know. But I couldn't put him into my 5 picks there for the top 20. But another guy that could do well though is like Alex Smalley. I feel like could play well. Like, he's at like plus 280. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes here. I mean, I don't think for this stuff, I think more your money's going to be made in the top 10 range, and then if you can hit that outright.
Yeah.
Rise down here plus 230 too. He's been playing all right.
Yeah, it's a tough get though to be top 20 for Aaron Rye.
Yeah,
in this field.
Yeah, I
suppose this is
a couple guys.
stacked.
You know, a couple of these guys that are on the bubble too might jump up a few spots this week too.
These guys will be playing a little more motivated. What if they work out some kind of deal like, hey, you don't play so well, and then let me get that spot ahead of you.
Worked out good for Glover last week.
Yeah.
Whatever that guy does works out late.
Him and Henley worked something out during the weather delay, and Henley's like, okay, I'll bogey the last 3 holes. You can win. That's
what we'll do. A Black Sox scandal on the golf course. What do you got for top 20s, Adam?
I also have JT Poston at 180.
This is a JT Poston show.
Yeah, it's TPC. I mean, it looks awful lot like Deer Run and some of the other TPC courses that he plays well at. And we've seen him do well on Bermuda grass too. So
totally Poston course. That's that means.
And then I also have Keegan Bradley at 190. Just because he's been playing steady all year. The top 20 seems doable for him. Then I also had Lucas Glover at 190. Because he's hot. You can't. How do you bet against a guy with a hot putter?
Right.
Especially crazy to do that.
Especially coming to FedEx Cup time, man.
And he said he liked this course. He plays well every time he plays there. Yeah.
It's all there.
He's confidence and he likes the course. That's always a bad recipe for everyone else. Then Ben Griffin at 450. I saw an interview with him and he said he was, extra motivated. He kind of hit a slump and felt like this week he could break through. And then Adam had one at 330.
I was surprised he had one down there.
I did see had one as well.
Yeah,
that I like.
Just because he plays good at TPC courses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hadwin, Henley, all these H guys have been crushing it as of late.
Yeah, all the Adams.
All the Adams.
Yep.
What was the one week I got mixed up where there was like on the betting there was like 4 Adams in a row, and I was like, oh, hold up, which one am I betting here?
All of them, Schenk, Hadwin, everyone you can find, especially the 100-1 Adams. What about now? You got Spieth in your top 10s though, right, Smitty?
My top tens, I have JT Poston at plus 500.
Oh wow.
I could not throw something there
Yeah,
with
Yeah.
him at plus 500, man. That's insane. And Adam just explained exactly why we're on the Poston train here. Then I have Brian Harmon at plus 320. Ricky Fowler at plus 260. Colin Morikawa at plus 210. I think that's probably a more of an interesting pick that people are thinking there. But I mean, sneakily, man, he hasn't been playing terrible, and his statistics, like, they just really like drew me to him.
He's just so hit or miss, man. I just
I
can't
know,
get on board with the guy.
Model likes him this week.
But and then I have Victor Hovland at plus 190. No Jordan Spieth. Like I said beforehand,
Too much water.
11 holes with water danger, and he's gonna spray.
yeah.
He's gonna spray shit everywhere because that's what he does. And
He gets that quick hook going, and it's game over.
I just don't know that. I just don't know that he's going to be
so
allowed
bad.
to scramble the way he wants to, because even Rory said about the rough and everything is if you get into the rough, then you struggle to scramble around this course and get to the greens and hold greens because you're not going to have the spin you need to stop on the small greens and everything. So I don't love like scramblers on this course this weekend just because you
want to have a nice, easy approach shot.
Right.
Yeah.
And the average approach shot, I think, is going to be around 160 yards is what I saw. And
when you're snap hooking your driver and there's water left on probably 8 of the 11 water holes, that's not a good sign.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself. As big of a fan of Jordan Spieth I am, I just could not bring myself to bet on him.
This will probably be the one that proves us wrong.
Yep, probably.
The whole thing has disaster written all over it. He'll be leading by 5 on Friday.
Right. And then obviously like with Ricky Fowler and Victor Hovland, like they've shown to us all year that they are top 10 fueled, right?
Yeah.
Like they're there to be there. And, the only guy that I struggle with a little bit, moving past the top 10 and that I question a little bit besides that is Ricky, because like we talked about too, is like, does he have the cojones to like go out and grab a victory on Sunday?
Yeah.
To where I feel like he could play really well for 3 rounds and then just play all right on Sunday. And Victor, I mean, I think Victor definitely, is going to be there right around that top 10 come Sunday. So
Poston has already explained that he's going to fucking go for it. So
yeah, he ain't laying up.
yeah, we figured that much out.
I ain't come here to play for second.
You got to like a guy like that. I mean,
yeah,
I love that.
Just he's not playing for the money. He's playing for trophies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's
got a trophy case at home and there's empty spaces.
Yeah.
Got plenty of money.
People I've talked to were complaining and be like, what was that guy thinking? Like he lost so much money. And I was like, did you not hear what he said? Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. Why would he do that? Because he's here to be the best player in the world. He doesn't give a like, yeah, obviously he cares about money, but at the same time, like he's got enough money and he knows that. And he's just like,
that goes back to my point. Like people don't understand if you make 60 grand a year, why you would not you just lost, $500,000, but it's like to them, that's not much. I mean,
yeah,
it's dumb to say it's not much, but when you're playing for millions of dollars, he already had $250,000 locked up. Who cares?
Right.
You can make that up in.
He's trying to get he's trying to get locked into that top 10 spot so he can have an advantage going into that last event of the year.
No, the beauty of it, Eric, is he doesn't have to make that up.
No,
he's not going to have to make that up.
No,
but like he's the guy that understands that if I win, I'm locked into that, to East Lake. And all of a sudden I'm only starting 3 or 4 shots back of John Rahm or Scotty, not 8 or 9 shots back.
Yeah, and good for him for like just telling everybody else to piss off. And he's like, I'm gonna do me, and if you don't like that, I don't care because it doesn't affect anybody other than myself.
I would do the exact same thing if I was him. Your chance to win, who cares about? I mean, you want the trophy. I would do the exact same thing.
That's the beauty of golf too, right? Is that it's an individualized sport, and you're not killing anybody but yourself. And if
Yeah.
if you can live with that and put your head down on a pillow at night and sleep well, that it is what it is.
Every tour player in that position would have done the exact same thing
I think so too.
and not regretted it one time.
Yeah, because it's the big picture
Yeah.
that these guys understand.
Yeah. They know where they're at.
What do you got for top 10s, Adam?
I also have Victor Hovland at 190.
He's definitely going in the DFS lineup. Then.
Also Fowler at 260. I also have Harmon at 320.
And
Poston at 500.
Jeez.
And then I had Max Homa at 280.
Jordan Spieth would have been a real
And
plot twist.
Man.
I wasn't going to go that far. I just feel like maybe Homa has had a couple weeks off to work out the demons and comes back refreshed, knowing he's safe in that top spot and maybe gets a top 10.
I hope so, because
He's looking at Ryder.
Max Homa.
He's looking at Ryder Cup big picture now, where he
Yeah.
really needs to play good.
I love Max Homa, and I want him to be playing some hot golf like he was in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And if you can
And
get
he-
Max Homa playing well again with Ricky Fowler at the same time, and get
No,
all
that's
that,
fun.
get all that flair out there and stuff, and then with Victor Hovland's shirts that he wears all the time, like if only he had the personality to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes it fun.
No, Victor Hovland's like that, like Kirk Cousins. He just wears what his wife gets him. It's like,
Yep.
I just wear what she buys. He's like, I just wear what the sponsors give me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's like, whatever
Yep.
they tell me to put on, I put on. It's like,
That's my job.
That's how you keep your contract.
I'm a walking billboard.
mhm.
Well, who's going to win this thing? That's the question. Smitty, what you got on your winners?
I have Brian Harmon at plus 4,000.
That's good odds.
Just
right
love his
there.
game right now, and I felt like 40-1 was really good. He's my high odd guy there. And I have Ricky Fowler at plus 2,800. All of this stuff, man, it just fits this course fits his game to a T. And I'm excited to watch him, so he better not screw up. And then I went to Colin Morikawa at plus 2,200. Played well here last year, and was just in that second tier last year here. And then I have Victor Hovland at plus 2,000. And then lastly, I have Scotty Scheffler at plus 650. I'm putting that up to a 2-unit bet, because that's what I do if it's under 10-1. Scotty, like, you want somebody, okay,
Come on,
so
buddy.
like Scotty should win this shit. Like, he really should. I mean, if he's worked on his putting game and he's got that figured out even a little bit, he's winning. Like Scotty Scheffler's last 8 events, he's got 7 top 5s. It's stupid. 5 of those top 5s, 5 of those are top 3s. That's insanity.
Well, he
That's
almost
insanity.
broke Tiger's top 10 streak, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Like, no one ever thought, oh, a guy's going to get 15 top 10s in a row. If he finishes top 10 his last event, he breaks the record.
I
Like,
know.
that's crazy.
And so, like, I had a guy, I had somebody, actually a guy that I've caddied for a couple of years now. When he comes up here, he's from Texas area. We were talking before and everything, and he's like, "What do you think about John Rahm?" And I was like, I don't know. I feel like his numbers, obviously, he's sitting there, at number 1 in the top spot. But here's the deal with him, right? Like, his wins were so early in the year. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to take away anything from winning the Masters. Like, I get that. Like, it's
Yeah.
great for him. But, his wins prior to that were so early in the year, right? He's been so up and down as of late. I feel like he's kind of, I don't want to say fizzling out, because he's still one of the top 5 golfers in the world, obviously. But it's like,
Not
if you're
peaking at the right
you're
time.
limping to the finish line, or you're not peaking at the right time,
Yeah.
that doesn't make me want to put my money on you.
Well, I
I'm
think
sorry.
he kind of got like fatigued, like burned out playing, 3 Elevate events, then the Masters, then he has to play RBC, then he has to play this. And it's like, I think they had all those elevated events were so
Right.
shoved in that they were too close together, and then
Right.
it really threw him off because he doesn't play that much in a row.
And I think I could be completely off base with my thinking here with it all, right? And I'll man up next week if I'm wrong, right? But because he's now all of a sudden had 3 weeks to rest and get himself back together, and now is he just going to come in and he's going to be a workhorse like John Rahm is? Like,
Could be.
he damn well could be, obviously, like because he's that good, he's that type of talent, you know.
I think he needs to be like where it's him and Scotty and one and like first and second, and then he's like, I got to beat Scotty because I don't want to lose points. You know, like he's more motivated by losing points at this point because when it comes to Eastlake, you don't want to be starting tee number 1, day 1, three back of Scotty.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the same thing goes with Rory and everything. Like the thing with Rory though is it's like for what I see that's important for this week, like Rory, that's not Rory's game, right? Like driving accuracy is the big deal this week, not driving distance.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then he's in interviews talking about how worried he is about the rough. And it's like when you're already mind fucking yourself before the tournament starts, like, are you gonna go? I mean, there's no cut to miss here, but are you gonna be in that top 40 going into Saturday, top 30? I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll see. I think if they're close at all, if they're within a couple shots, that's going to motivate him.
Yeah. The thing I worry is the big named guys that, let's say Poston or Glover shoots 8 under first round. What are they going to do? They haven't been playing 5-6 weeks in a row. They're not going to be dialed in. They can't go out and shoot 2 and try to make up 12 shots through 2 rounds.
That's tough to do. I don't care who you are.
If JJ Spawn or Hadwin comes out and shoots 65, 63, now all of a sudden you're Scotty and you're 8 back going into, well, not Scotty, but John Rahm, 8 back going into round 3. That's a big mountain to climb.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got to be thinking, right? Because what was it last year? 15 under one, right?
Yeah.
And obviously playoff between Straka and Zalatoris, which was a phenomenal playoff, by the way, if you recall that. But like 15 under and somebody gets half that in one round, like you were just saying.
Yeah. And we've also seen, like Billy Horschel that, like barely makes it on the number one year, gets in the first event and then clicks off 2 wins in a row. And all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, now Billy Horschel's in the lead of the FedEx Cup after 2 events. So you don't want to just stumble out of the gates when you got a guy, some of these guys that have really had some firepower the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Right. And I mean, you look at stuff, right? If you're looking at if you're looking at things from last year and everything, so you're at like our picks so far, you haven't given your outrights winners yet, but I mean, Brian Harmon was sitting there T3, Lucas Glover T3, Morikawa T5, Rahm was there T5, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got all kinds of guys there, like,
and
obviously
the other guys you mentioned have been rolling though.
And the scores the last, 3 or 4 weeks.
Poston was T20.
Yeah, I mean, you have guys like Poston who are shooting 14 under and they're in 7th, and it's like, okay, well, 14 under this week's going to be good enough. So you feel like, oh, if I'm at 14 after 2 rounds, I can get this thing really rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, 15 under on a par 70 course, man.
Yeah, and every week we've been seeing scores going 2 to 3 shots lower than last year. So, we're almost in that 20 under range, and I don't know how many tournaments Rahm or Rory or Scotty have gotten a sub 20, but it ain't very many.
No. And because those are the guys that are going to grind out wins.
Yeah.
Right.
Like at the 5-6 under rounds.
Yeah. And I looked at the weather. Was it yesterday or was it, if it was this morning or whatever, but it looked like the weather was going to be fine all weekend. We shouldn't have any issues.
I could almost guarantee there's going to be some pop-up storms because, the 18 National is in Tennessee this week, and it rains every year there. So same as last week at the tournament, it's, I could see a few pop-ups, but the last 2 weeks we've been playing in rain in the tour events too. So,
Well, yeah. So last week I was getting vibes, man, of just last year and how all the storms and all the weather delays last year. Remember all that?
Yeah.
And it was screwing us sometimes with some things. And it's like, man,
never broke to our benefit.
So we're like this year,
JT would get to like,
hasn't been an issue.
JT would birdie 4 in a row, and then they'd have a rain delay, and then he's out bogey, bogey, bogey. And it's
Yeah,
like,
he
crap,
goes
we just went from
drunk
first
or
to 12.
something.
Yeah, where he gets that confused look on his face after a swing. He's like,
Oh,
what's
no.
going on?
Yep. Like when Spieth starts coaching himself up, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he starts calling himself out, it's like, oh, Jordan.
Or he hits an F-bomb, with the hot mic.
It's part of why I love him.
Yeah.
Yep. You like the fire. What do you got for winners, Adam?
I'm just going to bring it out of the gate. Luke Glover at 7,500.
Glover. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
It's just
I'm going to parlay Glover with the Packers winning the North. That's what I'm going to do.
I'm
It's gonna be
6,421.
5,000 to 1.
The only reason I don't have him is because I don't love to take guys back to back.
Yeah.
So, but like I love the pick. If I'm blind and know nothing about this last week that he won, like he is definitely one of my picks
Yeah.
without question.
I wonder how many times in the past 4 years guys have won back-to-back tournaments. Like if it would be a plus EV move to just automatically bet the guy who won last week next.
It's very few.
He just won last week and he's 7,500.
Yeah. That
On a
probably goes
somewhat
to show
similar
that we don't have back-to-backs very often.
Yeah.
Leave it to him to break it.
Oh, that'd be fit. He hasn't. I mean, I'm not going to jinx him, but he's been shooting under par for a long time.
Yeah. Then I got Rory at 900. Rahm at 900.
That's crazy.
Because I felt like that's the best 2 odds you're going to get on those guys if they step it up.
They can't make him 1,200 even.
I was going to pick Scotty, but I knew Smitty had Scotty, so I didn't even worry about it. Because he was either going to pick Scotty or Spieth.
Yeah, I figured you knew I wasn't going to pick John. You knew I wasn't going to pick John Rahm.
Yeah, I know you weren't going to pick Rahm.
I'm in a lot.
And you're not very few pick Rory ever, so
I know.
And then I had JT posting at 6,500 because that's 6,500. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then I also had Harmon at 4,000. I just think the dude plays difficult courses well. He's sneaky. He he's so far under the radar, people don't even notice him. I mean, if he's standing next to his caddy and people don't notice him because he's, his caddy's 6'5" and he's 5'6". I just, he plays way too good and hits it way too straight to not do well here.
Yeah, to be 40 to 1. That's wild.
I just love JT's game. Like watching him last week, early in the week. I mean, he looks like he's just out there and doesn't give a two shits what's going on. He just swings and then walks, and it's like he's like Luke Glover almost. Like they're checked out of what's going on. They're just hitting the ball.
Yep, that's how Scotty rolls too. They're just out there playing around.
They don't look intense the whole time. Lucas is rolling around there with the big fat dip in, much like DJ used to do. It's like he hits the ball and just asks Chatty like, "Where's it at?" and puts a dip in and moves on with his day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I really think
champions.
I really think that if you want damn near a lock, I mean, it's not great odds, but it's the only plus money that you can get out of Scotty Scheffler besides him winning the tournament. He's plus 150 for a top 5. Okay, just remember the stats that I said before, right? It's seven of his last 8 events, he's been top 5.
Well, he was negative top 5 the last few events. Ever since they started, the media started blowing this top 10 stat out, then his top 10 results went negative money every week.
Yeah, I know.
If they'd have stayed quiet, we could have made some real money.
For him to be plus 150, I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I like that bet a lot.
There was a good bet, Scotty. It was not a parlay, but a hot prop bet. Scotty and Rory, either one of them two to win at 310. Or you could go Fowler Spieth at 1,300, or you could go Glover McCarthy at 3,500.
I can't believe. Maybe I'm crazy, but Patrick Cantlay is at 16 to 1. Yeah. How he's sitting there as the 4th best favorite. That's nuts to me. I mean, he's sitting 13th in the standings right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how is he. And then Xander's right behind. Xander Schauffele is right behind him. I don't get that either. Like, how is Victor Hovland not ahead of him? How
Yeah, I
is
don't
like
know.
Ricky? How is Ricky and like even Wyndham Clark not ahead of Xander?
I would just like to sit down with the person that does the handicapping for DK and say, like, "Oh, how do you guys do this? Because you're so far off sometimes. It's not even
Yeah.
funny. It's like they
'Cause
don't
even,
watch
like,
golf.
I mean, oh man,
They just put the names into a algorithm and it spits out the odds. And it's like, just pay attention 1 week.
like you're telling me that Tyrrell Hatton is at 22-1 and he's ahead of Wyndham Clark and Ricky Fowler and even Max Homa.
That
And Max
makes no
Homa's
sense.
35-1. Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And like I don't even and you want to take statistics into there. Like, I don't know. I didn't look at Hatton's statistics or whatever too closely because I just laughed when I saw that a little bit. But I'm like, there's no way that these guys' stats that we just mentioned aren't better than his.
How is Jason Day ranked better than Fitzpatrick?
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick hits it down the middle. Jason Day doesn't know where it's going half the time.
Right. He has to shut his eyes before the shot to understand that he's on a golf course.
And how are those guys ranked higher than Brian Harmon, who hits it pretty much any direction he wants? And and he's lengthy. Matsuyama hasn't done shit all year, and he's ranked higher than, Brian Harmon.
Yep.
I don't get it. Like, I just want to talk to one of these guys one time and be like, do you guys actually watch golf, or you just sit behind a computer screen all day?
Right.
Yeah.
Like that discrepancy doesn't make any sense at all. That Hideki and Brian Harmon are both 40-1.
Yeah.
How?
Keegan Bradley at 7,000 to win. The guy's got 2 wins this year and stripes it. Justin Rose, another guy who hasn't been playing well, but can hit 2-iron around this course all day down the center of the fairway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
It works out good for us.
It's crazy. So you're getting a little bit more. So like you're getting more juice down the lines, top 5, top 10, top 20 with Hideki Matsuyama than you are with Brian Harmon, which leads you to believe then you're getting more juice for Brian Harmon than a little bit more than you probably should, right? And you're probably right on Matsuyama, but it doesn't. And it's not much more juice or whatever, but it's still a little bit to where I feel like he should be under 40-1 to win.
I mean, Patrick Rogers is at 15,000.
Yeah, that's
It's
insane.
2,800 for a top 5. I mean,
Who's the outsider? Who's the biggest guy? Matt Naismith at 35,000.
Brandon Wu. He's had some decent top 10s this year.
Where's Coach at? Isn't that the
Yeah,
guy
that's
we
his
talking about,
boy.
Brandon Wu?
Yeah.
Coach would be fired up.
300,
to
Taylor
win.
Montgomery and Nick Hardy, Kuchar. I mean, this seems like a course that could be
Coach.
fit for Kuchar. It's, you got to hit it straight.
I just don't know if he has it in him, at this point in his career to grind out 4 days, no cut. Like, because some of these because if there's a cut, right?
Yeah.
Some of these top 20 guys coming in, they're just not going to make the cut, right? So it eliminates some of the competition a little bit, right? So we're all of a sudden like, man, these guys are here all weekend.
You think Rory sits in Rory and those guys sit in like a group meeting the night before and go, look, guys, there's no cut. We don't need to try to go out and shoot 65 first round. Let's just try to shoot, around that 68 number and keep everybody in the field. Let's
those top 10, 15 guys are the ones sitting around and looking down at the rest of the guys. It's like, listen, don't make us fucking have to do what don't make us have to work that hard on day one. And some asshole tries to come out and show off and shoot 7 or 8 under.
I think they put a note in Vincent Norman's locker and like, hey bud, I know you like to go low round 1. Let's just, let's play conservative this week around 1 and 2. Let everybody have fun here.
Yeah.
They all just agree on the number.
We're trying to keep this friendly. We're not trying to blow people out here.
Yes.
Billy Goats are devastated. They run their whole show on making the damn cut. See, it's devastating. Woo's a damn spy sent here to sabotage every DraftKings lineup we make. I don't know. Maybe. That's what the odds say. That's definitely what the odds say. I think I'm just going to piece together my DraftKings lineup out of your picks here. I'll review them. Adams top 20. Poston, Bradley, Glover, Griffin, Hadwin. Smitty's top 20. Harmon, Henley, Byung On or On Byung. I'm not sure in which order. Poston and Glover. Adams top 10. Hovland, Fowler, Hammond, Poston, and Homa. Smitty's top 10. Poston, Harmon, Fowler, Morikawa, 210, and Hovland. And then winners. Adams got Glover 75-1, inexplicably. Rory, Rahm, Poston at 65-1, and Harmon at 40-1. These are egregious numbers. That's why Smitty also has Harmon. He's got Fowler 28-1, Morikawa 22-1, Hovland 20-1, and Scheffler really plus 1,300 if you bet the 650 twice. Are we experiencing technical difficulties? We're experiencing technical difficulties. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, feels like a good time to wrap it. We're at 55.
I'm excited. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a fun weekend of golf.
Yep. We didn't even mention about Bryson shooting 58.
Yeah.
I mean, it was on live, and the thing that I had noticed was that a lot of the regular tour guys were shouting out, like, I don't care what course you're on, what tour you're on, 58 is 58. And like John Rahm said something. I think Scotty said something. So I feel like it's not them reaching out, but maybe this is the end of live because they're actually being nice to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, that's just professionals tipping their hat to other professionals. Yeah. I mean, a 58 is stupid. I don't care where you're shooting a 58, man. Like that's absurd.
With a bogey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I mean, you shouldn't be that surprised that Bryson can do something like that. I mean,
in a low pressure situation, like live is low pressure compared to a PGA event.
Yeah, but when you get close to that 50, I mean, when you get close to shooting 61, which he shot the day before, it's like, oh shit, like you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's you against the world at that point. That's
what I'm going to say from now on. Thank you, AK. Benny on. I'm going to stop trying to pronounce Byung on. Says NCAA football is about to be part of the live. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to listen and find out what that means. But yes, this is going to be awesome. Thank you, people, for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel right down there. Follow the show on Twitter at @PlusMoneyGolf, all one word. Best of luck with your bets this weekend. We'll see you right back here next Tuesday for more Plus Money opportunities. Adam, say something cool that golfers say.
It's no longer a vacation. It's a quest.